What you're about to see are 3 pieces of footage that show something unresolved, something as disturbing as it is inexplicable. They're all brief, and yet don't let that fool you. Their length doesn't make them easier to process. If anything, it makes them worse. As I said, these are unsolved cases, and every single one of them has a particular quality. They don't leave you when the video ends. They follow you. They settle somewhere in your mind, quiet, almost unnoticed, and then resurface when you least expect it. Especially tonight. Especially when you try to go to sleep. The doll you're currently looking at generated a significant amount of attention online. People were actively asking this user to keep posting content featuring it. But before I explain what happened and where this doll came from, let's let the person who owns it introduce herself. Her name is Cassie, an American mother, and she's going to tell you about it in her own words.
You guys, I didn't buy this monkey. It was a gift, so you could stop asking me why the I would buy the monkey. I didn't buy it. The person who bought it got it off of Amazon. It's an Ashton Drake doll, and maybe possessed as was not in the description, so they had no idea. Also, for the people who say, oh, just her eyes are supposed to move. I have those dolls. When you pick them up, their eyes move. Her eyes aren't moving. They ain't moving unless she just blinked right there. I don't know. Poking her eyes. Boop. She might get me back for that later, but no, her eyes don't move except for when she wants them to.
Some people watch that and feel something close to tenderness. Others feel something else entirely. Let's hear a little more from Cassie.
You guys, I just noticed something crazy as and you're all gonna think this is so insane, but I just took out the certificate of authenticity for her, and you're not gonna freaking believe the name on this thing.
Why did someone with so few followers, someone who had never built a large audience, suddenly find herself with hundreds of thousands of people coming to her page? Why did this doll, of all things, become famous? Because Cassie, who had never once uploaded a horror video, who had no history of paranormal content, no reputation for this kind of thing, filmed this.
Oh my God, I swear to God, this thing just looked at me.
The next video is completely real. I want to say something before you watch it. I want every single person watching this, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, whatever situation you're in, to see themselves in what you're about to witness, because this is the kind of thing that could happen to any one of us. local police have issued a warning stating that in this area, an extremely brutal and violent rapist has been active for some time. Someone who targets women. Someone who has also been known to attack young children. Investigators believe this was almost certainly him. The evidence that leads them to that conclusion is visible in the footage itself, which is exactly why this video became the basis for a police report. The person whose home this was, the person who filmed this without fully understanding what she was seeing, never found out how close she had actually been to something catastrophic. In this collection of 3, we've seen what some would call, quote-unquote, the paranormal. And we've also seen a reminder of something important. In this world, it is wise to fear the living far more than the dead. But I saved this one for last, deliberately. Because the third clip doesn't belong to either of the previous categories. It isn't a haunted object. It isn't a human predator lurking where he shouldn't be. This final video occupies a different dimension entirely, what I'd call the unknown. The person who filmed this has chosen to remain anonymous, and they want their privacy respected. That detail matters, because it's actually a reasonable indicator that this isn't a production. This footage was obtained by Rick Eats World, an account dedicated to tracking down and archiving unusual, unexplained videos from around the internet. Here's the situation. A college student renting an apartment began noticing, over the course of several weeks, that things were wrong when he came home. Not dramatically wrong, not ransacked rooms or broken windows. Subtly wrong. Objects in different positions than he'd left them. Small things displaced. Things you'd only notice if you were the one who placed them there originally. He would come back from class and something would be off. Every time. For weeks. He reported it. He went to the police with what he had, which admittedly wasn't much. No forced entry. Nothing stolen. Nothing he could point to on a form and call a crime. The officers told him what you'd expect them to say. Without more concrete evidence, there was nothing they could do. He was left to deal with it alone. On the advice of his father, he purchased a motion-activated security camera, the kind you can order online, nothing specialized. Just a consumer device capable of rotating to follow movement on its own. He set it up inside the apartment and went back to his routine. I want you to watch what it recorded. Watch the whole thing. And when it's over, if you're able to come up with a rational explanation for what you're seeing, I genuinely want to hear it. The student's account of what's behind that door. It's the laundry room, a room with no other exit. His argument, and it's a reasonable one, is that if something had entered that room, the camera would have captured it. The camera was motion activated. It was pointed at the only way in or out. There is no footage of anything going through that door. There's no resolution to this story, and that's not because I'm withholding one. It's because there isn't one. The student chose to leave the apartment immediately. He didn't negotiate with the landlord. He didn't wait for the end of the lease period. He walked away from the money he had already paid that month, and he did not go back. Whatever he believed he was dealing with, he decided it wasn't worth finding out more about. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for stepping through the rotten door.